The decorations are coming out.
My name is Louis.
The TV specials are being put on repeat, and the Christmas in the air has finally arrived. You know what that means. It's spooky time. A time for celebration of horror to distract us from the real world horror happening all around us. I love spooky things, but boy oh boy do I jump easily. That's why I started watching all of my horror movies on mute. Those loud sound effects never failed to leave my shorts slightly more soaked than they previously were. But when I did that, it made the visuals pop off even more. This led me to make one more protective measure to these horror movies, and I've never been happier. Here's some footage of me watching one of my favorite horror movies, David Gordon Green's, William Friedkin's, Ellen Burstyn's The Exorcist Believer. Amazing. Speaking of David Gordon Green, I wanted to talk about his last film, one of the last few horror films in which I didn't use my foolproof method of safety, and yet it's the one I wish I did the most. Halloween Kills came out last year and was set to wrap up the David Gordon Green Halloween trilogy no one asked for. After the absolute train wreck of Halloween Kills, no one was expecting anything but utter trash, annoying characters like Big John and Little John, insane dialogue like stabbed his sister in the tits, and depressing cash grab bullshit that we are all force-fed like hamsters being worked on in a makeup factory. But to everyone's surprise, Halloween Ends wasn't a complete disaster. Or was it? Let's talk about it, shall we? This film starts out with a bang. I mean, characters that we don't know yet, written not horribly or over the top, doing things people actually do. I mean, we're cooking with gas here, huh? Realistic characters? Insane. I think the first scene is actually a testament to good visual storytelling and use of foreshadowing. Just look at how this upper level of the house is filmed. At this sharp angle, you can almost feel the tension. Something bad is going to happen. And the film uses language, score, and lighting to get this point. Now, being named Halloween helps, as you expect Michael Myers will be around the corner with a knife in hand smoking that teenager pack. That's where this opening really shines. And spoilers for this whole movie, by the way, if you don't want any of this movie spoiled, you need to click off now, we're going into it. The movie plays on these assumptions of Michael Myers, and instead of a normal babysitter kill, a terrible accident befalls a child who is honestly being a little shit. The ending of this scene really sticks the landing, pun intended, and our protagonist Corey is the one to blame. Anyways, after the credits scene of pumpkins morphing into other pumpkins, a way to show that evil is morphing and changing into another person, it's time for the recap of every single Halloween film to date to make sure we know that Michael Myers is a real jerk. They do this multiple times in this film, and I hate it every single time. Like, I know what happened, and even if I didn't, this fast as fuck montage isn't really gonna help me out. The city of Haddonfield is turning in on itself after Michael's disappearance.
Michael doesn't use guns.
What is he, Batman? Back to the homie Corey, his engineering dreams were dashed when he accidentally killed a child, so now he was working at a mechanic shop / dump. We are also introduced to the radio guy. This film has an obsession with this random radio personality guy for some reason. He's in every other scene, I feel like. Laurie's granddaughter, still don't remember her name, she's been in 3 movies, is pulled over by her ex-boyfriend. This 45-year-old cop who's real creepy towards her, but after that stupid and weirdly short scene where he just says that her car is a little weird, the camera pans down to a little tunnel where it's implied Michael Myers is chillin'. Anyways, back to Corey. He is getting bullied by a bunch of teens for not buying them beer, one of which talks like Tony Soprano.
New friend. Bring you a little milk.
Yeah.
I like milk though.
He does not realize that this movie takes place in Illinois. Jamie brings the injured Corey to meet her granddaughter at the hospital. The granddaughter is a nurse, and she is immediately into this dude. She then proceeds to tell maybe the best joke of all time.
At the shop tomorrow. You'll fix it there.
Why can't the bicycle stand on its own?
No, it can't. It's got a kickstand.
Because it was too tired.
Then we get whoever this lady is just chilling with our main people. This lady is like just doing her own thing in the background of like multiple shots in this movie. I know she was in Halloween Kills, but I just have no idea who she is. And they barely ever even like look in her general direction. She's just popping up. And then Jamie yells, "Show grief your tits." We'll just move on from that.
And say, you know what? Let's go.
Now we get Jamie Lee Curtis in her love subplot with this doofus. Everyone is horny in this movie. It's way hornier than any other movie in this franchise, and the very first one had horny teenagers be a specific plot line of that movie. It's unbelievable. Now we get to everyone's favorite scene, the always necessary dancing scene that has been in every single one of these movies for some reason. It goes on for just way too long, and this is where one of the best sequences of the entire movie is. It cracks me up. So Corey is dancing, having a good time, letting a little loose. He goes to get a beer, and guess who's chilling in the club, drinking her sorrows away? on Halloween night at this crazy rager of like this bar club thing. It's the mom of the dead kid. It's like, lady, listen, it's Halloween. This shit is poppin'. Maybe it's not the best place to go drink your sorrows away. Maybe you should go to Moe's Tavern down the street, you know? Imagine your son dying, and to forget the pain a year later, you go to the Rainforest Cafe. That's what this feels like. The music is so loud, everyone's screaming and dancing. It's just like so weird that you're even here. It's clearly just a plot convenience because Corey just needed a reason to get a little bit angry. Now, the power couple get into a fight, but who cares? Watch this transition. What? It does not work at all visually. Why does she do that with her hands? And the moon comes from nowhere. It looks so bad. This film, I might need to go into detail at a later date and just revisit all of the transitions in this film. Every scene transition is with a loud noise, a big bang, or some dumbass visual like this. And it's every time for some reason. It is so annoying actually to watch. Anyways, bullies are back briskly beating up Corey by standing on a blue bridge next to a Megan is missing billboard? Connected universe, anyone? That's weird. Corey gets thrown off the bridge and Michael Myers takes him in and reads his mind somehow, like he's Ultron getting the internet access or whatever. These two quite literally use the Force with each other, and I did not know that was possible, but they are telepathic for some reason. Corey then immediately gets into a fight with an old homeless dude who he proceeds to stab and then throws the knife away just like 10 feet away without even cleaning it.
Bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
He then admits to what's-her-face that he killed someone right after he killed someone, and she gets even hornier. Anyways, Weirdo Cop makes a return, and Corey gets very angry. Corey then makes his debut as the newer and improved Michael Myers by disappearing into the cave after fighting the cop guy who followed him from the restaurant in the previous scene. Now, I like this scene. I think Corey does a good job, and it's well executed. It also leads to our first ultra double team up between Michael and Corey. Michael Myers kills the dude, and then like, levels up. He can like suddenly move again, and he's like back to his old self. He just needed to kill someone. He was just in a slump, you know? Sometimes you just gotta kill, you gotta shoot yourself out of that slump, you know? Anyways, the movie gets a bit sidetracked. We get this slutty nurse character who says like,
My house is so rich.
See, these are the characters that David Gordon Green is just horrible at writing. Like, none of these characters are ever realistic, and they're obviously just killing fodder. That's all they are, is they try to make these really annoying characters just to kill them off so you like Michael Myers. It's very weird, and it's very, I don't know, stupid. It's just stupid and not very satisfying. Like I said, the annoying characters eventually die. One detail I do like is the Scarecrow mask on Corey. I think it's a cool looking mask. And the fact that he's stabbing this dude in the background is kind of cool. It's kind of spooky and actually kind of like, whoa, that's kind of like a neat image. But at the same time, there should definitely be at least some noise of a man getting stabbed to death 10 feet away from this woman, but that's okay. Here's the scene with the Force touch. Like, okay, they're definitely communicating with each other somehow. Now to the only landmark in this entire town of Haddonfield, the radio station. There it is, boys. Come on, we knew that radio guy was coming into it. We meet the only black character in this film besides one of the bullies, and Corey wants to kill him immediately, so we'll just leave that there. I do love this line delivery right here by Corey. It gives me chills. The way he says it, it kind of sounds like a serial killer or something, and I think it works really well.
He wants to kill me.
What?
Yeah.
Now here is a perfect example of another dumb transition. Loud noise transitions into Lethal Weapon. I think it's Lethal Weapon. It looks like Lethal Weapon. Not entirely sure if it's Lethal Weapon. And then it cuts to the dad watching said Lethal Weapon. And then it just cuts away. Like, why did we see any of that? Why was that why was that anything? Why was that in the movie? Talk about it, you could cut that out and not change a thing. I don't know what they were thinking. It does eventually lead into the best scene of the movie, where the bullies finally get absolutely wrecked. I love the kills. The blowtorch kill goes crazy. The fence goes crazy. This movie's honestly quite brutal and very bloody, which is kind of like an underrated aspect of these movies, is the fact that they're actually like extremely gory. And people are just like, oh, you know, it's just a Halloween movie. These movies are gory. Like this one specifically is like gallons of blood in this movie. Blowtorch kill, again, just is so brutal and crazy. I kind of love it. Now we go back to the radio station, again, the one place in this whole movie, for another good kill. The tongue on the thing making it skip is actually hilarious. I think that's a great detail. Whoever came up with that is good job. Jamie Lee Curtis suddenly and out of nowhere is now planning on killing herself. Seems random, but okay. She did get in a fight with her granddaughter or whatever, so she's just gonna... Old people killing themselves is like the most depressing thing ever. But anyways, she's just kidding, obviously. You know, she's a bad bitch. She ain't gonna do that shit. And she knew, apparently, Corey was gonna come and kill her. They get in a fight. Jamie Lee Curtis somehow wins. Corey ends up killing himself, and then his nursing boo walks in right then and proceeds to just watch him bleed out. Instead of, like, I don't know, stopping the blood, maybe? Being a nurse might help. Then she leaves and just like was like, meh. And then the real Michael shows up to finish Jamie off, because apparently now he does not like Jamie. Remember in the first one when they said Jamie's not related to him, so they actually have no connection? Why did they even do that? They still have a connection to this day. They still doing the it makes no sense. Anyways, Jamie's ready for his ass. They fight for way too long. Jamie's head goes through glass at one point, not a great look for her. She uses her best move against Michael, which has never failed. It's simply just put your hands on his face. Gets him every single time. Jamie wins and throws a fridge on his ass, and then the granddaughter comes back out of nowhere after seeing the radio tower in flames. Not the radio tower! Okay, and yeah, she comes in and just snaps his arm in half, which is like so weird and kind of funny. But anyway, everyone randomly shows up to Laurie's house. Suddenly everyone just knows Michael Myers is not only back, but now dead officially. Perhaps they're all on a Discord server. Maybe it's called Moms Against Michael Myers. Anyways, they cut Michael and bleed him out, which is like weirdly like a gross way, I think, to kill him. And then they carry him all the way to a meat grinder. They throw him in, and it looks absolutely horrendous when he is grinded up. So that ends the story of old Michael Myers. Now it's time for our characters to finally move on from Haddonfield. I hear the granddaughter's going to Chicago. It's much safer there. Now, the ending of this film, I think I could have maybe done a whole video on it. It's absolutely bonkers. It's maybe the worst last 10 seconds of a movie that I've ever seen in my life. We've just wrapped up all of our characters. Okay, granddaughter's going away. She's free of this Michael Myers bullshit. Jamie Lee Curtis is still like going through it, and she's a little sad. But she sees her guy, and they like make up and they make plans to go to Japan or something. And then it gets really awkward for some reason, because she says, "Can we go see those cherry blossoms now?" And he just goes and like sits, like slowly walks to her and just sits next to her. It's like, well, that was awkward, and they didn't say a single word to each other, so that was weird. And then it just like cuts from that without them saying anything, and it goes into the house, and it just shows 4 different shots of the house in succession. Just here's the living room, here's the kitchen, and I don't know what I'm supposed to think here. Like, what is this house? I don't care about this house. Whose house even is this? Is this their house from the beginning? Jamie didn't live there in the second one, at least, or in the first and second one. Like, what is this house? I don't even know. Is this the granddaughter's house? Was she in this? I have no recollection of this house in this entire movie. Just like I don't know her fucking name. Am I supposed to feel something towards this house? It makes no sense. Why would you show this house for 20 seconds? And then, out of nowhere, after the 4th shot of the house, it's just the camera stuck on the kitchen now for some reason, looking at the fridge. And then Blue Oyster Cult just starts playing. Don't Fear the Reaper, play more cowbell, please. Just starts blasting. And then it just cuts to credits. The fuck was that? What was that? That was the stupidest thing ever. What the hell did I just watch? 4 empty shots of a house? Completely static? Not showing anything? And then Blue Oyster Cult's Don't Fear the Reaper. Okay. Well, I get the song. I get why the song's there, but I mean, maybe you could have picked a better final shot. No, final sequence maybe slightly better. I don't know. Maybe end it when he's getting grinded up. I think that would be a lot cooler, actually. Anyway, that's not how this film alone ends. That's how this entire trilogy of films ends. With 4 shots of an empty house. What are we doing? It's absolutely insane. It tried to turn off on guard for some reason. What am I watching? Am I watching an indie film? What are we doing? Jesus Christ. Sorry. Anyway, so that's the end of the movie and the trilogy. I'll never talk about or think about these films ever again. Thank you for hearing me rant about this movie. When I first watched it, I liked it more than I liked it the second time I watched it. But yeah, it's pretty bad. It's definitely stupid. It's definitely stupid and not well thought out and also stupid. But thank you for watching, as always. I appreciate the support very much. Talk to you later.